the Luke and Sheep Pete's, Luke and Pete Show, and I'm Pete Donaldson, joined by Mr. Luke Moore.
Hello.
Hello. We're recording this a little bit early because I'm doing some recording with Chris in Tokyo, and
you going to Tokyo?
I'm going to Tokyo this week, and nice. I'm getting there Sunday night, and I'm leaving Friday night, and that is a real whistle-stop tour of Tokyo. I'm arriving in Tokyo Sunday night, flying to Fukuoka for sort of Monday morning, and so basically we're doing some recording from Monday morning to Friday, getting some shows in the bag and doing some filming, and I don't know what I'm going to be like, and that shot, I've never been somewhere that requires so much travel for such little time.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those ones where as soon as you get used to the time, you're going to be back again.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're back for the World Cup though, right?
Yeah, back for the World Cup, baby. Can't wait.
Nice.
I can't
wait.
Are
you excited for the Ramble World Cup watch party?
I am, yeah. That is going to be an absolute dream. I mean, the problem is like I imagine the meat time to make sure to corral the cats, so to speak, to herd the cats. You know, generally get a meeting time in the sort of late afternoon, and the Fizzy Aunt will be fizzying, the Fizzy Aunt will be aunting, and the match isn't on until, is it 10 o'clock?
9 p.m. I think the first one.
9 p.m. Okay, that's slightly better, but I'm just.
But you know, it's funny. I didn't consider this. Right, I was the guy who hosted the panel. So I was on the panel, as I said to you on Monday. I was on the panel with. I didn't say who I was on with. I was on with Adam Smith, who's a TV host, James Alcott, who I think you're probably familiar with, and it was hosted by a guy called Connor, who I was asked to do the panel by Jordan Schwarzenberger, who is the manager of the Sidemen. And but his like right hand guy who was hosting that stage is this guy called Connor, who's a big Ramble guy, and he's a big he's a Patreon subscriber and stuff. And he said, I've got tickets for me and my wife to come to the World Cup watch party. And I was like, oh, right, that'd be great. And he was like, I'm a bit worried it's going to be carnage. And I was like, oh, well, how do you mean? He was like, well, it opens at 5, right? I was like, yeah. And he said, and people aren't going to come straight there. They're going to have been out all day because it's like, it's the England World Cup day. And then you've got another 4 hours before the game actually kicks off. And I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, I didn't really think about that. And then I saw Vish later that day, and Vish was like, mate, this World Cup party's going to be mad, isn't it? And I was like, oh, yeah, it probably is, isn't it? I don't know how I'm going to pace myself. The
problem is, like, as soon as I turn up and there's a pump with beer, with lager specifically coming out of it, I'm just these days, I'm just like, get one in my hand, please. Yeah, it's delicious. This is delicious.
We're gonna have to do that little mini ramble beforehand at like 5:05.
Oh, just do it 5 minutes before I start the show.
But I keep saying to people, I'm saying to some of my friends as well. I was saying, like, you know, I genuinely think that because the Premier League season hasn't ended yet, people are gonna not think about England. Now it's gonna change a little bit because Thomas Tuchel's fucked it by picking the world's most boring squad, but as soon as the Premier League is finished, people are going to be into it and they're going to want to start to get involved. And the first one's sold out already. So, like, you know, the great thing about, I think, the Ramble World Cup watch parties, we've done them before, is that it's like a pretty safe, pretty fun, like-minded environment. It's not that you're in some kind of terrible pub where it could all kick off or there's people there who don't like football or whatever. Yeah. It's actually ideal for what you want. Yeah. And there's only in total 1,200 tickets across all 3 shows. So 3 games. So people need to get stuck in. They need to crack on. I've been saying to my friends, like, you need to buy tickets. You need to buy them. I can't guarantee. I'm not going to give you any tickets because we're not allowed to, and you're going to miss out. So I keep trying to emphasise that. But I
bought a couple of pairs.
It's probably sensible, actually. Probably sensible to do so, yeah.
Upon people or not. The thing about stuff like that is certainly last tournament, I remember sort of you're in town, I just want to watch the match, and there's nowhere that's letting anyone in, and
it'll be ticketed or it'll be full or whatever.
I'll be ticketed. Yeah. Or like one time I think we went to the casino and it cost us like the best part of £100 each, and it was just insane. I mean, I didn't have to go on the roulette table, but I did. No, it was just a bit silly, really, and it was dry and it was just a bit dull. But I think it's that nice mixture of a bit of an atmosphere, like a lot of an atmosphere, and also just, you know, having access to toilets.
There won't be big screens there, and the beer will be good, and it's competitively priced, and there won't be any racists. No. You know, it's going to. Apart from Pete, there won't be. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, I just shared something in the Ramble WhatsApp of Mark Gatiss dressing up as Jacob Rees-Mogg for Halloween. Yeah. He looks exactly like you.
He looks well, no, he looks like the bloke out of Sparks. I don't have it's pretty close to the bone, the Hitler bone, so to speak.
Does it bother you how often you look like you're told that you look like Hitler?
It's not really it's not more of a problem when it's Eurovision and I get sent several different people. I'm supposed to look like all of them, and I've just given up after a while, to be honest. There's always a new one around the corner.
You could change your appearance a bit, couldn't you?
How would I do that exactly then? Do a block up the darkness and get me teeth fixed, shave my head. Yeah, you always think about that, the old shaving the head, but it's not. I think I start to look a bit like Kevin Spacey. I'm starting to get a bit of a hair island.
That's even worse. Imagine that. You actually look even more like another awful person.
Exactly. Yeah. There was an old. I think you were clearing out your house before the house move, and you found a magazine interview with us lot on the Ramble, the OGs.
Yeah, it was like 2009, something like that.
2009, and I remember exactly where we took those pictures in. Like it was in Global Radio's little cinema room
downstairs.
And and I took some pictures
when it was still GCAP.
When it was still G. Well, actually, it would have been after they were GCAP because that's why they spent all that money, didn't they? To
no, but I left before it became Global.
What? Yeah, you had left.
Yeah,
you just came back.
Oh right, okay.
And it's took some pictures, and I'd not noticed it back then, but. How much of a spunk was Marcus Speller?
Absolutely wasted on him, wasn't it?
Absolutely wasted on a man of God.
I was out there fighting for my life every Saturday night.
I was trying my very best. And Marcus was swanning around like that, saying, "No, thank you, ladies. I am devoted to one thing and one thing alone. Him upstairs. Yeah. And my life partner wants to get married. I was absolutely spitting when I saw that picture.
You didn't look too bad, though. You looked all right.
I look better, but I mean, nothing as close as Paul Rudd, aka Marcus Speller.
Can I just chuck something out there fairly controversial? I'm inviting your honest opinion. I actually think I'm better now.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. I mean, but you didn't know, but you don't know how to sort of style yourself back then, do you? It's kind of like beauty's kind of like lost on the youth.
It dates badly. They
They don't really know how to kind of. They don't really know how to use it, I suppose. You know what I mean? That's why I've never understood like men who go after like young women, and you're like, and also B, because like they don't know. It's not like they don't know how to use their good looks. Do you know what I mean? They're not in control of their youth, basically, of their good looks. I've never understood paedophiles, basically.
That's good to know, actually.
It's
really
good to know. Can't get my head around them.
It's important to make that clear whenever you get a chance. I always just feel like because I've kept my hair, I've done all right.
Yeah, it's a big ask for a lot of people. I think the amount of finasteride we hawk on a weekly basis on all of our shows. Finasteride and
does it actually work?
Something that
it does work, right?
But yeah, apparently so. Yeah, I think you got to be careful because I think it can mess with your brain a bit. But yeah, as doctors would say.
Well, because your brain can't get the signals because the hair's in the way again.
No, I think it can drive you to suicidal thoughts.
Oh, good. Nice. Yeah. I'm pleased to hear that.
That's exactly. Yeah, I got a full head of hair, but feel like topping myself. It's not ideal, is it?
But yes. I also think it's basically a lot of the bad stuff that happens in the world. I'm absolutely convinced is because certain men, powerful men, have either lost their hair or can no longer get erections.
Yeah, that's certainly the. I mean, you've got. Did you see the Jeff Bezos getting interviewed about the Melania investment? that they made.
No, I haven't. I saw him making some kind of odd statements about tax fairly recently, but that's all I've seen.
Yeah. If I paid double the tax, the teachers in Brooklyn or whatever wouldn't see any of it. Whatever. He basically said that he was asked about the Melania thing, sort of saying, well, this just feels like a bit of a bribe in not so much language. This just feels like a bit of a bribe to Donald Trump because you've given Melania personally this amount of money for the access rights, and you've spent all this money marketing stuff. And he was just basically saying that it was a great business. I didn't make that decision, but it was a great business decision because it was very successful. It's like, no, it wasn't.
What are you talking about?
It took like 10 grand in the UK.
Fucking
for example.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Absolute nonsense. It's such nonsense.
It's like the invention of lying, though. I'm not unfamiliar with that film because I've not actually watched it, but I presume it's someone.
I've watched it. I actually think it's really funny.
Yeah,
it's really funny.
It's just one of those high concept films. But it is just sort of like people have just started realizing, you can just if you just bareface everything, you just fucking tell lies all the time, like a toddler.
Yeah. Also, by the way, if you're Jeff Bezos and you're insulated by everything in life and you do one interview a year, so therefore there's no pushback and no comeback, it's not as though he's now got to do an apology tour. He'll just go away for a year, probably go up on one of his space rockets again, go and sit on his yacht, fucking do a bit of lobby in the background, or someone will do it on behalf of him. And that's that. You can tell that basically the way Trump's been dealing with these billionaires, these tech billionaires, is exactly from the Putin playbook. It's like, you can have your money, I won't fucking tax you, you can have all these assets. In return, I expect absolute fealty. Now, there's slight differences in how it's gone about, because obviously the way the Soviet Union fell into disrepair, and then Russia came about. But like, there was all those assets to be taken, and these people took them, and Putin was like, well, you can have them, but I expect you to support me politically for the rest of your life, and if you don't, you may well lose your life. It's not the same exactly, but it's the same principle. That's why they all turned up at Trump's inauguration. Right? It's all, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Of course they want to work out ways to get money into all their different pockets, and that Melania one was, what was it, 40 million budget, 20 million went to her for her image right. Who honestly actually cares about her image right? She's a fucking empty suit. Like, it's a blatant bribe. Like, it's not even fucking. The difference between Trump and the other guys back in the day, at least the other guys tried to fucking hide it. At least Nixon had the fucking decency to be embarrassed and ashamed when he got caught, and sweat a bit on the TV and then quit. That's the only difference. It's honestly, it's bananas that what's going on now. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
And I think also with the World Cup coming up as well, it'd be interesting to see what comes out of that, because obviously even more of the world's eyes will be on it. I mean, so a lot of people, I've seen a few people argue that Trump is like the most famous person in history now. The amount of attention he gets, the amount of kind of column inches and coverage and stuff.
I mean, he's that has been his sole focus for a long time, or it certainly is on his second tenure as president. There just seems to be just a lot of that, really. Have you seen the Trump phone? Did you see the Trump phone getting delivered to everybody?
Yeah, oh my god, it's just like, isn't it like a reworked like Huawei or something?
Yeah, it's just sort of rebadged an old Samsung or something. Went, there you go, painted it gold.
They hoovered up thousands of $100 deposits, didn't they? And then they got put under pressure to actually make the phone, so they just rebadged the fucking Samsung.
Yeah, that's that. To be fair, that's not not unique to the Trump phone. Most sort of tech startup sort of thing. But people are treating it like, oh, it's going to be like its own network, and it's not going to be any of that. I mean, if you learn anything about this fucking family, like, they're not going to do that, are they? The other comparison I'd make in terms of like the Tim Pot dictatorship is, I don't know if you ever are unfortunate enough to happen across like confirmation hearings for certain like candidates for like set like committee positions and like other kind of federal roles, and the ones that get there's like this whole circus around it now. And obviously the way the committees work is that, they're kind of populated with like roughly 50% Democrat, 50% Republican. You've got a ranking member who can be a member of the Republican Party or the Democrat Party, depending on how it works and depending on what the committee is. And they have to confirm all these appointees, right? And it's become like a running fucking joke now that every single Trump appointee that gets put in front of them, the first thing a Democrat representative or senator asks is, did Joe Biden win the 2020 election? Yeah,
and none of them will say yes. Like, none of them.
Yeah, they said he was ratified as the leader of the...
Exactly.
Like, no, right, yeah.
Can you answer the question? Do you believe? And it's almost like they behave like they think they're going to be thrown in a gulag or something. It's really, really weird. It's like dystopianly weird. But I mean, that's where we are. That's the stage we're at.
It's like an Android check, isn't it? It's like where they check whether you're an Android or not by asking you a load of questions in the film Blade Runner. I think that's how.
But yeah, it is a bit like that. But my feeling is just that if you are, I don't know, like you've got a role which is like junior assistant to the Deputy Treasury Secretary or something, right? Which is say I've just made that up, so that's a federal position that you need to be appointed, you need to be confirmed, right? What I'm trying to get at is a lot of these jobs that aren't actually that important, right? What kind of human being do you have to be to not go? I'd probably just get another job. Actually, I'd rather not live in like this Alice in Wonderland type fantasy world where I have to second guess everything I say to make sure that I don't piss off the world's largest, most sensitive man baby, who's also happens to be the president of the United States. Right. Another thing I'll tell you is I was chatting to someone last week,
man of the free,
who I won't name because it would be unfair. Who was at the White House Press Association dinner, and when that shooter turned up, and they were telling us about.
Wasn't the person stealing the bottle of wine off the table? Was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that person. No. And anyway, they were just talking about the experience, and it was kind of a bit surreal and all the rest of it. But they also said to me that, and they said this to me directly, that the only reason Trump agreed to go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, I think it's called, is because if he got assurances from all the major outlets that none of them would take the piss out of him.
Right.
Which is basically the antithesis of what the event is supposed to be.
But I mean,
and I just thought to myself,
how sensitive? How might sign up for that? But I mean, who's signing up to that?
Well, they all. I mean, I guess they all kind of did, I suppose.
Right.
But how? I mean, if you're, how can you look at that and think, oh, what a strong man, what a fucking great guy? So basically, this guy he has the power to make millions of people's lives a misery, and regularly does. Yet he can't listen to a joke about him.
But that's the thing with like how does that conversation go? I remember sort of like Dave Grohl talking about there's a hotel rider that he didn't know about, and I don't necessarily believe that, but there's like a rider that turns up at every hotel room a rock star's ever stayed in, and like so he protests that he's never had a conversation about what he wants in his hotel room, what he this and that, and so like having that conversation, Donald Trump, the leader of the free world, multimillionaire and getting richer by the second. Concentrate on that. Why are you bothered? How weird it must be for a man in his 80s to be telling someone to tell someone else to be nice to him.
It's weird. But that's dictators all over, isn't it?
It's coded in anyway, and he doesn't have to do it every time. He's just got a lot of cronies around him that just do it automatically. Oh, well, Prince Margaret wouldn't like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It just seems...
But I think it probably goes a bit like the person who organises the event, like the chairman or whatever, speaks to the press officer or the head of press for Trump and says, you are invited to this. Every president's been to this for the last 80 years or whatever. We'd very much like you to come. Would you like to come? And I guess the head of press goes back and says, yeah, but these were the conditions. And they tell everyone the conditions. Or he doesn't turn up, I guess.
Well, it was the correspondents' dinner that was why Trump ran in the first place, wasn't it? It was Barack Obama take the piss out of him. That's what they say.
Yeah. That's what they say the origin story is. But I can't remember what he said it, but someone said that, a dictator can put up with death threats and plots to kill him and insults, but they can't put up with like 5 seconds of laughter about them. Like it's just something that unifies all dictators. They cannot bear to be laughed at. And
I know he's three murder attempts through in his second term. Or obviously the first one came before he got thing. I think we never hear about that first guy. I hate to get conspiracy theory-ish, but we never hear about that first lad who, managed to gain unbelievable access to the future president of America, and you just never really hear about that thing because that was the one that connected, got as close as possible to him. You never hear about him.
I'm not sure if I remember that one.
The one that cut his ear. Like that bit of glass that he hit the
so that was after he'd been president the first time. And a lot of people
before the second one, wasn't it?
Correct. And it killed a guy in the audience, didn't it? I think.
Yes. Yeah.
At least one guy. I know a lot of people have a real problem with that as an event, don't they? I'm not saying I do or don't. I don't really know enough about it.
I don't think I do either. But it is stark how much kind of like analysis goes into every other part of things that should upset Donald Trump, but we don't hear about the people who, the bloke who hid in the golf course with the gun. We don't hear much about the guy who's just, who's presumably going to be up in court soon. We just don't hear about these people. It's almost as if like he's got like an order, and it's not. I don't want to talk about it because it's not useful to me. It adds to my power base a little bit, but I think kind of, or maybe he just feels like he's fucking unstoppable. He just feels like that makes him feel more or look more.
But what's the conspiracy theory around the Pennsylvania one, that like someone shot his ear on purpose, or like it was a squib in his earlobe, or what? Like what?
Yeah,
what's the chat?
Just any and all of the above, really. Just any usual fucking drone technology, boy funded by Trump, all that.
I remember one thing that I heard someone say, which is that the weirdest thing about the one in Pennsylvania, which hit his ear, the one you're talking about, excuse me, is that if you watch some of the footage, the American flag is raised about 10 seconds before it happens, and the photo is taken with him going fight, 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 with the flag exactly in the background. It's all a bit too convenient. I'm not saying I believe that. I'm just saying that's what I've heard people say. But to me, if you are going to allow someone to shoot your ear, sniper to shoot your ear from like 200 yards away when you're on stage, then fucking
you deserve
it. You're brave enough to be a president.
Yeah, I agree. But
it's wild.
Yeah, weird one.
Anyway, Peter, we should probably wrap up. Really, we should probably go. Would you want to do a quick email before we go?
Let's do a quick email before our ops find out where we all are.
Good point. All right. Yeah. What about this one from Toby? He says, "Hi Luke and hi Pete. Saw this advertised online the other day. Unfortunately, my name is not Peter, so I cannot take part." He's just included a little link called "Is your name Peter? Can you crouch? Would you like to win £20,000?"
God, right.
It's a company called Dabble. Don't know who they are. They're filming a competition in Leeds. Probably, yeah. Filming a competition in Leeds and want you to take part. All you've got to do is be over 25. Yeah, definitely a betting company then. And crouch for the longest to win £20,000. You've got to present a valid ID to prove your name and age. You've got to be available for the filming. You've got to fill out a form and all the rest of it. So all you've got to do is be called Peter and crouch for the longest amount of time. It's a bit like, do you remember that radio competition where people had to touch a car for long enough?
Yeah. Didn't someone die, I want to say? Or maybe it was drink so much water. I think in America someone drank
they generally stopped doing them because people kept dying, didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to die crouching, but I would last about 10 seconds. I can't crouch for longer than about 10 seconds these days.
You can, yeah, exactly. My knees would not handle that. But I guess you would, maybe you could just be one of those guys who takes like fentanyl. Just, like those American guys who just manage to sort of, they're upright, but they're not really upright. They're sort of like.
Have you? So that's you're talking about a thing in San Francisco, right? They do those people who are just like mannequins.
Yeah, it's all over.
Is that real? Is that real?
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, they're all like.
Right.
I think it's all heroin or certainly the. I'd say.
I thought that was like an AI, like
drugs.
Dystopian AI thing.
No, it's they're just they're standing up, but they're shuffling, but they're sort of bending backwards, I suppose. Having such a good. It looks good. It does look like that's not a natural position for the body to be in. So it must be fucking mind-blowingly good. Delicious.
So you're seeing that as a pretty effective advert.
Oh yeah, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely.
I just thought it was so bleak. I thought it was. Do you know what I honestly thought it was? I thought it was like right-wing conspiracy theories to have a pop at Gavin Newsom in California. This is the state of San Francisco.
Right, okay, yeah, no. I think it's all very real, isn't it? I mean, you go in Los Angeles and it's like all that basically. You walk down sort of Skid Row in Los Angeles, which is it's near the financial district. It's people are around, and within a second you'll see someone's balls. Like it's just every time I've been there, I've seen someone's balls because people's like jeans have like, perished or something. Is it? Oh, look, if you want to see balls, people shitting on the floor, like you'll see them.
Yeah, but I'm looking it up now, Peter, and apparently Skid Row has been associated with transient populations and homelessness since the 1870s.
Wow!
So it's not like it's a new thing.
No, a Gavin new thing, I would say.
Exactly.
But yeah,
exactly. Anyway,
let's get some crank.
Thanks for sending that email in.
I trust
Toby.
the street.
I don't think Toby. I don't think Pete could do it, not even with the blood and Monster Energy in his veins.
I had a Vimto energy this morning. It was didn't taste much like Vimto, so they let themselves down there. I love I'm Pete Donaldson. We had to record something for Aircast, I think, today, and we had to say, I'm Pete Donaldson from Local Ramble, and we love Manchester. And I thought of the horrible Vimto I had in the morning. I said, you know what? I don't like Manchester right now because they made a
Vimto
bad
from Manchester?
drink. I think so, yeah. It's a Vimto. Vimto's like a Manchester thing, isn't it?
They all love Fanta.
It's like Iron Brew, but from the northwest.
Fanta. I remember when we had that software available to us at Capital Radio when I was working in the sales team, and you could look at where all these products were bought most.
Oh,
and
nice.
I was saying that every time I went to Manchester, it just seemed like everyone was drinking Fanta. The same way whenever you go to watch Charlton Athletic, everyone's eating crisps. And I haven't actually got data to back that one up. But the Manchester one, I looked online. I looked at like Nielsen research, and like the amount of fucking Fanta being sold in Manchester at the time was like off the scale.
How weird. Home of Fanta.
I'm not sure they still are, but 20 years ago they loved the fucking Fanta.
On tour. All right, and guys, we'll be back on Monday when I'm back from my travels and Luke's back from his travels around his house. Big new house.
I'm not going anywhere. Don't glam me up, baby. I'm staying here.
I'll glam you up. Yes, we'll be back soon. And look after yourself. And if you want to get in touch, hello@lukeandpeteshow.com is the way to do it. We'll see you
later.
soon.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.